わしは生涯、失敗ばかりしてきた男だ。君は、失敗が怖いか。世間の奴らは成功だの栄光だのを褒めたたえるが、わしに言わせれば、失敗の味を知らん人生ほど、気の毒で、つまらんものはない。いいか、よく聞け。君がもし、自分の人生がどうにもパッとしない、錆びついた鉄くずのように感じているのなら、理由はたった一つだ。君は、まだ、心臓の張り裂けるような、本物の失敗をしていない。ただ、それだけのことだ。わしは本田宗一郎。鉄と油にまみれて、夢中で駆け抜けてきた。ただの頑固親父だ。今日は君に、難しい理屈や小綺麗な建前などではない。わしがこの傷だらけの手で、生涯をかけて掴み取った。たった一つの、しかし、最も強力な、人生を根っこからひっくり返すほどの真理を授けよう。心して聞くんだぞ。それはな、こうだ。見事に失敗せよ。派手に転べ。そして、笑い飛ばせ。バカなことを言うなと思ったか。無理もない。君たちは皆、物心ついた時から、失敗は悪だと、恥ずかしいことだと、耳にタコができるほど聞かされてきたんだろうからな。学校では、一つの正解を教え込まれ、それ以外はすべて間違いだとされる。社会に出れば、ミスをすれば頭を下げ、迷惑をかければ評価が下がる。そうやって、我々の魂は、知らず知らずのうちに、失敗という見えない鎖でがんじがらめにされていくんだ。挑戦という、人間が生まれながらに持っている翼をもがれ、安全という名の、狭く薄暗い鳥かごの中で、ただ縮こまっている。その鳥かごは、居心地がいいか。毎日同じ時間に起きて、同じ道を通り、同じような仕事をして、同じ時間に帰る。波風の立たない、安定した暮らし。それも一つの生き方だろう。だが、君の魂は、本当にそれで満足しているのか。夜、一人で布団に入ったとき、胸の奥底から、言葉にならない叫び声が聞こえてきやしないか。こんなはずじゃなかったと。俺の人生は、こんなもので終わるのかと。その声こそが、君の魂がまだ死んでいない証拠だ。その声こそが、君がまだ、本物の人生を諦めていない何よりの証左なのだ。わしは、その声に応えるために、今日ここに立っている。断言する。その鎖を断ち切らない限り、君の人生に、本物の喜びと、燃えるような生きがいが訪れることは、断じてない。君が今、感じているその停滞感や、将来への漠然とした不安の正体は、他でもない。その、失敗を恐れる臆病な心、それそのものなのだ。わかるよ。誰だって恥はかきたくない。笑い物になんかなりたくない。だが、そのちっぽけなプライドが、君の足にどれだけ重い鉄球を巻きつけているか、考えたことはあるか。その恐怖のせいで、どれだけのチャンスを、どれだけの出会いを、どれだけの可能性を、ドブに捨ててきたというんだ。わしは生涯、失敗ばかりしてきた男だ。いや、むしろ、失敗するために仕事をしてきたと言ってもいい。わしの人生は、失敗の連続、挫折の山、そして赤っ恥の塗り重ねだった。だが、わしは、その一つ一つの失敗を、心の底から愛している。なぜなら、その傷だらけの失敗こそが、わしをわしにしてくれた、かけがえのない師匠であり、最高の盟友だからだ。わしがまだ、ほんの若造だった頃の話をしよう。自動車の修理工場で腕を磨き、そこそこ評判になって、すっかり天狗になっておった。この浜松で、わしの腕で直せない車はない。本気でそう信じ込んでいた。そんな増長した心で、わしは次の夢に取り掛かった。修理じゃなく、創造だ。自分の手で、自動車の心臓部であるピストンリングを作ってやろうと、なけなしの金をはたいて、東海製機という会社を立ち上げたんだ。自信はあった。いや、自信しかなかった。自分の腕と勘さえあれば、世界一のものができるに決まっている。と、寝る間も惜しんで、油にまみれて、来る日も来る日も試作を繰り返した。工場の床で眠り、油の染みたおにぎりを頬張りながら、 来るべき成功の日を夢見ていた。そして、ついに完成した。これこそがわしの技術の結晶だ。そう胸を張って、大手の自動車会社に納品した。だが、結果はどうだったか。出来上がったのは、ただのガラクタの山だった。納品したピストンリングのほとんどが、検査で弾き返されたんだ。こんなもの、使い物にならんよ。検査官の冷たい一言が、今でも耳にこびりついて離れん。客には呆れられ、金を貸してくれた友人には申し訳なくて顔向けできず、わしを信じてついてきてくれた仲間たちは、黙って下を向いていた。工場の隅に積まれた、いびつで、ザラザラした鉄の輪っか。それが、わしの満身の惨めな残骸だった。あの夜、工場に戻った時の、しんと静まり返った重い空気を、わしは一生忘れんだろう。誰もわしを責めなかった。だが、その沈黙が、どんな罵声よりも鋭く、わしの胸に突き刺さった。悔しくて、情けなくて、夜も眠れんかった。布団の中で、声を殺して泣いたことも一度や二度じゃない。わしの腕は、ただの思い上がりだったのか。わしの夢は、所詮、ほら話だったのか。と、人生にはな、誰にでもそういう瞬間が訪れる。自分の信じてきたものが、足元からガラガラと崩れ落ちるような、絶望の淵だ。多くの人間は、ここで腐る。もう二度と恥をかくものか、と固く心を閉ざし、挑戦から逃げ出すんだ。だが、わしは違った。いや、違わなければならなかった。ここで逃げたら、わしはただのほら吹き出を割ってしまう。この惨めで、どうしようもない失敗を、ただの傷跡で終わらせるか、それとも、この身を叩き直し、生まれ変わるための、灼熱のるつぼにするか。道は二つに一つじゃった。わしは決めた。わしは、この失敗から逃げないと。そして、一つの、しかし最も重要な事実に気づいた。わしには、根本的な知識が、科学的な裏付けが、全く足りていなかったのだ。職人の勘だけでは、本物は作れんのじゃ。と、そこからが、わしの本当の戦いの始まりだった。わしはな、すでに会社の社長でありながら、恥を忍んで、浜松の工業高校に聴講生として入学したんだ。自分よりずっと年下の、小僧っ子たちに混じって、夜勤の基礎を一から学び直した。周りはキーな目で見たろう。あの社長、頭がおかしくなったんじゃないか。そんな陰口も聞こえてきた。だが、そんなもの、どうでもよかった。プライド、そんなもんは、ガラクタのピストンリングと一緒に、当の昔に捨ててきたわ。授業は、屈辱の連続だったよ。教授が黒板に書く数式も、教科書に書いてある理論も、ちんぷんかんぷん、若い同級生が当たり前のように理解していることを、わしは理解できなかった。ある時、教授に質問した。先生、なぜそうなるんですか。教授は呆れた顔でこう言った。本田君、理論というものは、実際にやってみなければ本当の意味はわからんもんだよ。その言葉が、雷のようにわしの頭を打ち抜いた。そうだ、やってみもせんで、何がわかる。わしは、自分が知らんという事実を、腹の底から認め、その無知と正面から向き合った。ただ、それだけじゃ、この地べたを這いずるような経験が、わしに技術よりも、もっと大事なことを教えてくれた。それは人間そのものへの尊敬だ。わしは一人では何もできん。と、知っている人間は、知らない人間に、惜しげもなく教えてやる。そうやって助け合わなければ、人間は、一歩も前に進めんのだ。と、ある雨の日のことじゃった。わしの工場に、大事な客人が来た。あいにく、スリッパが足りなくなってしまってな。若い社員が慌てておった。その時、わしは、自分が履いていた汚い長靴を、すっと脱いで、客人の前に差し出した。まあ、汚いが、これでも履いてくれと。客人は驚いた顔をしたが、わしは平気じゃった。格好をつけることより、目の前の人が困っているのを助ける方が、よっぽど大事だと思ったからだ。その時、わしはひらめいたんだ。愛であってものはな、 立派な研究室で生まれるんじゃない。こうやって、人が困っていること、不便に思っていることの中に、ゴロゴロ転がっているんじゃ。と、技術というのは、人を助けるためにあって、初めて意味を持つのだ。と、いいか、失敗というのはな、君にお前はまだ何も分かっておらんぞと教えてくれる。宇宙からの、最もありがたい声なんだ。それは、君を打ちのめすための天罰じゃない。君を、より高く、より強く、より本物へと導くための、愛の鞭なのだ。その声に、どれだけ素直に耳を傾けられるか。その痛みから、どれだけ深く学べるか。人生の勝負は、ただそこにかかっている。君にもあるだろう。心のどこかで気づいている。自分の未熟さや、見たくない欠点が、それから目をそらすな。蓋をするな。それこそが、君という人間が、これから本当の成長を遂げるための、ダイヤモンドの原石なんじゃ。その原石は、失敗という名のハンマーで叩かれ、屈辱という名のヤスリで磨かれて、初めて、本物の輝きを放つのだからな。失敗を恐れない心が定まると、どうなるか。自然と、次の扉が開かれる。それが、挑戦だ。失敗を恐れぬ者だけが、挑戦という名の、荒馬を乗りこなす資格を得る。ピストンリングの地獄から這い上がり、人間を助けるという喜びを知ったわしは、戦後の焼け野原の中で、また新しい夢を見た。今度は、庶民の足となる、オートバイを作ることだ。そして、わしは無謀にも、世界に向かって宣言した。わしは、世界一のオートバイレース、イギリスの満島で優勝する。と、日本がまだ、敗戦の傷跡から立ち直れてもいない時代だ。周りは皆、笑ったよ。何をバカなことをと、ホンダのような、町工場に毛が生えたような会社が、世界の競合に勝てるわけがないと、日本の恥になるだけだからやめておけと、親切心で忠告してくれる者までいた。だが、わしは本気だった。本気で、世界の頂点に立つつもりだった。そして、初めてそのレースを視察するために、ヨーロッパへ飛んだ。そこでわしが目の当たりにした光景は、まさに、筆舌に尽くしがたいものだった。腰が抜けたは、文字通り、立っておれんほどの衝撃だった。わしらは、胃の中の蛙じゃった。エンジンも、フレームも、ブレーキも、何もかもが、まるで子供と大人ほどの差があった。彼らのマシンが奏でるエンジン音は、音楽のように美しく、そして雷鳴のように力強かった。それに比べて、わしらのマシンときたら、まるでブリキのおもちゃだ。わしは、宣言したことを、心の底から後悔さえした。こんなものに、どうやって勝てと。これは、戦う前から、勝負が決まっているじゃないか。絶望が、またしても、わしの心を真っ黒に塗りつぶそうとした。だが、ここでわしの魂に火をつけたのは、あのピストンリングの火の苦い記憶だった。そうだ、あの時と同じじゃないか。自分の未熟さを、世界の広さを思い知らされた。だが、ここで逃げたら、わしは、またしてもただのほら吹きで終わる。一度、やると言ったんだ。ならば、やるしかない。たとえ、それがどれだけ無謀で、絶望的な道のりだとしても、そこからの数年間は、まさに、失敗の展覧会じゃった。エンジンは焼き付き、フレームは折れ、ライダーは転倒する。情報の欠如、部品の不足、圧倒的な性能差。毎日が、敗北の連続。夜も眠らずに図面を引き、油にまみれてエンジンを組み、そしてまた壊れる。その繰り返しだ。チームの若い連中は、疲弊しきっていた。ある者は故郷の恋人に手紙を書き、ある者は黙り込み、そして、ある者は、静かに工場を去っていった。その背中を見送るのは、断腸の思いじゃった。ある晩のことだ。一人の若い技術者が、わしのところにやってきて、目に涙を浮かべてこう言った。親父さん、もう無理です。これ以上やっても、俺たちには勝てません。わしは、そいつの油で汚れた手を、黙って握りしめた。そして、こう言ったんだ。バカ野郎。無理かどうかは、 わしが決めることだ。お前は、なぜこの仕事をしている？給料のためか、生活のためか。違うだろう。世界一になるという、でっかい夢を見たからじゃないのか。夢ってのはな、楽して見られるもんじゃない。血へどを吐いて、泥の中を這いずり回って、それでも見失わなかったやつだけが、掴み取れるもんなんだ。今が一番苦しい時だ。だがな、夜明け前が、一番暗いんだぞ。わしと一緒に、この暗闇の向こうにある、朝日を見に行こうじゃないか。わしらは、二人で声を上げて泣いた。そして、また次の日、油にまみれて、エンジンと格闘を始めた。わしらにとってレースは、勝つか負けるかの博打じゃない。あれは走る実験室なんじゃ。なぜエンジンは壊れた？なぜあのカーブで曲がれなかった？失敗の一つ一つが、わしらに血の通ったデータをくれた。おい本田、ここの強度が足りんぞ。おい、もっとオイルを冷やしてくれ。機械は嘘をつかん。失敗という形で、常に真実を語りかけてくる。その声を聞き取る耳を持つこと、それこそが技術なんじゃ。どんな立派な教科書にも載ってはいない。生きた知恵を授けてくれた。失敗は、わしらにとって敵じゃない。次の一歩を照らしてくれる。道しるべだったんだ。そして、宣言から7年後、ついに、その日はやってきた。わしらのマシンが、満頭のコースを疾走し、1位から5位までを独占したんだ。表彰台に、日の丸が5本、高々と掲げられた。その時、遠い異国の空に響き渡った日本の国歌は、わしらが生涯で流した汗と涙の音だった。わしは、共に戦った仲間たちの顔を見た。そして、この場にはいない、去っていった者たちの顔も、はっきりと目に浮かんだ。この勝利は、わしらだけのものじゃない。あの過酷な挑戦に関わった、すべての人間の、すべての失敗の上に築かれた、勝利の塔だったのだ。どうだ、君の人生に、エンジンはかかっているか？挑戦という名のガソリンは、満タンに入っているか？多くの人間は、ガソリンの入れ方も知らず、エンジンのかけ方も知らず、ただ、錆びついていく自分の人生を眺めているだけだ。やってみもせんで、一体何がわかるというんだ。転ぶのが怖いか？結構じゃないか？すりむくのが嫌か？上等じゃないか？泥だらけになって、格好悪く這いつくばって、そこから自力で立ち上がった者にしか、決して見ることのできない、壮大な景色というものが、この世にはあるんだぞ。では、聞こう。なぜ、我々は失敗し、挑戦するのか？誰のために？何のために？答えは、驚くほど単純だ。自分のために。だ。わしは、若い連中によくこう言ってきた。会社のために働くなんて思うな。自分のために働けと。会社なんてものはな。所詮は、一人一人の人間が、自分の夢を実現し、自分の可能性を爆発させるための、ただの舞台によぎん。人間一人一人が、自分の人生の主人公として、自分のために、心の底からワクワクしながら働いている。その、とてつもないエネルギーの集合体が、結果として、会社というとんでもない怪物になるんじゃ。これを、わしは人間尊重と呼んできた。だがな、この自分のためにという言葉は、時として、自分自身に最も厳しい刃を突きつけてくる。わしは、空冷エンジンが好きだった。いや、愛していた。軽くて、シンプルで、わしが人生をかけて完成させた、まさにわしの分身のような技術じゃった。だから、世の中が新しい排ガスの規制で騒ぎ始め、水冷エンジンが主流になりつつあった時も、わしは頑として空冷にこだわり続けた。砂漠の真ん中で水なんか手に入るか。未来も空冷だ。若い技術者たちが、社長、これからの時代は、環境性能を考えれば水冷しかありませんと、血気盛んに突き上げてきた。わしは、聞く耳を持たなかった。何を赤蔵がと、このわしが、この世界の本田が、空冷でやってきたんだ。間違いがあるはずがないと、今思えば、滑稽な話だ。かつて、ピストンリングで自分の無知を思い知ったはずのわしが、いつの間にか、 自分自身の成功体験という最も厄介な権威にすがりつき、変化を拒む頑固な年寄りになっていたんじゃ。満島で世界の広さを知ったはずのわしが、自分で作り上げた本田という小さな島の中で、王様気取りであぐらをかいていた。対立は抜き差しならんところまで行った。プロジェクトは完全に膠着し、会社の未来に暗雲が立ち込めた。その時だ。わしの生涯の相棒である藤沢武雄がわしのところにやってきて、静かに、しかし魂をえぐるような言葉を投げかけた。親父さん、あんたが初めてバタバタを作った時を覚えているか。あんたはただ機械が好きな浜松の鍛冶屋の小僧だった。世界一になるなんて誰もあんた自身さえ思っていなかった。だがあんたには人を喜ばせたいというでっかい夢があった。俺はその夢にかけたんだ。本田という会社はその夢の上に立っている。会社の未来も同じことだ。あんたの過去の成功にかけるんじゃない。あんたが信じて育てたあの若者たちの未来の夢に今こそかける時じゃないのか。あんたは世界一の技術者として自分の過去の作品と心中するのか。それともホンダの社長として会社の未来を選ぶのか。どっちなんだと頭を巨大なハンマーでガツンと殴られたような衝撃だった。そうだ、わしはいつから技術者のわしと社長のわしをごっちゃにしていたんだ。わしが愛しているのは空冷エンジンか、それともこの会社で働く一人一人の若者たちの輝く未来か。答えは決まっていた。わしは次の会議で若い技術者たちの前で深々と頭を下げた。わしの負けだと。もうわしには新しい技術はわからんのかもしれん。あとは君たちに任せると。そして彼らが心血を注いで開発した水冷の CVCC エンジンは世界中が不可能だといった当時の最も厳しい排ガス規制をいとも簡単にクリアし、ホンダを再び世界の頂点へと押し上げた。わしはな、自分の負けを認めたんじゃ。自分の時代は終わったのだと。そして自分が人生をかけて育て上げた若者たちがこのわしをあっさりと時代遅れの人間にしていく。その姿を誇らしい気持ちで見届けることこそがわしの最後の、そして最高の仕事だと心の底から悟ったんじゃ。これがわしの言う自分のためにの究極の姿だ。それは自分のちっぽけなエゴや過去の栄光を守ることじゃない。自分自身の間違いを認める勇気であり、自分を潔く手放す強さであり、そして次の世代の可能性を自分以上に信じてやることだ。いいか、君の人生の運転手は他の誰でもない。君自身だ。会社のためじゃない。世間体のためでも家族のためでもない。君自身の魂が心の底からこっちだと叫ぶ方へ力強くハンドルを切れ。たとえそれが今まで走ってきた道とは全く逆の茨の道であったとしてもだ。わしにとって仕事とは最高の遊びだった。わかるか。いやいややっていることは仕事とは言わん。それはただの労働だ。給料のために仕方なく時間を切り売りしているに過ぎん。本当の仕事っての花、時間を忘れ、寝食を忘れ、それに没頭していること自体が楽しくてたまらない。そういうもんだ。それはもはや仕事と遊びの境界線などない。思考の境地だ。君は今遊んでいるか。月曜の朝が来るのが待ち遠しくてたまらないか。もしそうでないなら君はまだ本当の仕事に出会っていない。君だけの遊び場をまだ見つけられていないだけのことだ。そしてな、勘違いするな。完璧な人間などこの世には一人もおらん。わしだって見ての通りの欠点だらけのデコボコな人間だ。それでいいんじゃ。いや、それがいいんじゃ。人間もわしらが作る機械もそもそもが不完全なものなんだ。だからこそ面白い。だからこそ改良の余地がある。成長の可能性がある。 その不完全さを愛し、その伸びしろにワクワクすることこそが、生きるということの本当の醍醐味ではないのか。さあ、今日の話はもう終わりだ。最後に、わしの魂の叫びを君の心に叩き込んでおこう。いいか、諸君、もう一度、よく聞け。失敗を恐れるな。失敗は、君という刀を鍛え上げる、最高の砥石だ。傷の数だけ、君は強く、賢く、そして、本物の人間になる。その傷だらけの手こそが、君がこの厳しい人生を、真剣に、そして本気で生きた、何よりの証であり、最高の勲章となるのだ。挑戦をやめるな。偉大な挑戦である必要などない。昨日までできなかった、ほんの小さな一歩でいい。その、震える足で踏み出した一歩こそが、止まっていた君の人生のエンジンを、再び始動させる、聖なる点火プラグなのだ。そして何より、自分のために生きろ。君の人生は、たった一度きりの、君だけの物語だ。誰にも遠慮はいらん。誰の許可もいらん。君の魂が、心の奥底から震えるほどやりたいことのために、その命を美しく、そして激しく、燃やし尽くせ。君だけのマントウは、どこにある？君が人生をかけて作るべき、ピストンリングとは何だ？人からそんなことやって何になると言われて、心の奥底にしまい込んでしまった、大切な夢のかけらはないか。才能なんてものはな、結果論だ。最初から才能のあるやつなんていやしない。あるのは好きだという、どうしようもない情熱と、絶対に諦めんという、燃えるような執念だけだ。君が心の底から好きだと思えることがあるなら、それが君の才能の原石だ。あとは、失敗を恐れずに、それをひたすら磨き続けるしか、道はないんだ。人生は、驚くほど短い。くよくよと悩んで、他人の顔色を伺って、安全な場所で身を縮めているいとまなど、我々には、一秒たりとも残されてはおらんのだ。覚えておけ。失敗を恐れて、何もしないこと、それこそが、人生における、唯一にして、最大の失敗であるぞ。さあ、もう、下を向くのはおしまいだ。顔を上げろ。胸を張れ。そして、今すぐ、この場所から、力強く、一歩を踏み出すんだ。行ってこい。そして、いつか、わしに自慢できるような、でっかくて、壮大な、見事な失敗をしてくるんじゃ。その、泥と汗にまみれた、傷だらけの顔で笑う君に会える日を、楽しみにしているぞ。今日の話が、君の魂に、消えることのない火をつけたなら、チャンネル登録を頼む。さらなる真理の探求、そして人生の勝利を求めるならば、また、この場所で会おうではないか。
We're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. It is our desire to help you get turned in the direction of what you are wanting. Sometimes you have so many habits of thought. Beliefs are just thoughts you keep thinking, aren't they? So sometimes you have these thoughts that are comfortable to think because you've been thinking them, and because law of attraction helps you to think them. In other words, whatever you're thinking about, law of attraction will bring more thoughts like it to you. So sometimes you've got these patterns of thoughts that are not serving you well. And we want to show you how to use your guidance to ferret out which of those patterns of thoughts are not serving you well. You are such a worthy being. And do you know that when you feel worthy, you feel that pride, you feel that feeling of oneness and well-being. But when you feel unworthy, do you know why it feels so awful? Because you are activating within you a vibration that's so foreign from who you really are and how you really feel about you, that when you do that, you tear yourself apart. Those are strong words, but it is literally what you do. You vibrationally do not allow yourself to be who you are. So everything that we'll be talking about here today is about your emotions, it's about relief, and most of all, it's about closing the gap. And these are the words we want you to leave here remembering. You want to find ways to more and more allow you to keep up with who you are. You must let yourself be you. And every time you feel negative emotion, you're not letting yourself be you, and you can use every excuse in the world to explain why you're not letting yourself be you. He made me feel bad. She hurt my feelings. They betrayed me. They fooled me. They stole from me. They did something bad. They don't understand me. Something bad must have happened in a past life. You get really desperate. We want you to understand that the way you feel is completely in your control. And when you figure that out and you begin to deliberately apply the direction of your thought, you are going to discover a freedom beyond your wildest imagination. When you discover the freedom that comes from focusing yourself into alignment with who you really are, now you are living life as you have intended. So, you said, I'll go forth. Life will cause me to continue to want more. I'll turn in the direction of what I want. I'll get this momentum going, and it's like riding this surfboard out on the leading edge of life with the wind in your face and a feeling of exhilaration in your heart. That's the way you intended to live life. And anything less than that is not what you had intended, and anything less than that is your own doing to your own self. So, we want you to care more about how you feel than about being right. Because that's the ultimate rightness, you know. The ultimate rightness is coming into alignment with Source. And when you come into alignment with Source, and law of attraction is responding to that aligned you, only well-being can be yours. But when you are justifying or rationalizing or explaining some wrongdoing, you've got yourself out there on the raw and ragged edge. You are disconnected from who you are. And even though source energy is calling you powerfully toward who you have become, you're not going is what's tearing you apart. It's not what they did that is destructive to your experience. It's not what somebody else did that is destroying your health. It's what you're doing with your own vibrational discord, you see. When physicians and scientists begin looking for vibrational causes rather than medical cures, they'll really be onto something. Because at the heart of every dis-ease is dis-ease. At the heart of every negative emotion is contradicted energy. So we say, if you've got some negative emotion about something and you've learned to live with it, so you don't do anything about it, don't worry, it will get bigger. Law of attraction says that it must. Because the more you live with it, the more you'll throw more into your vibrational escrow. The more you throw into your vibrational escrow, the faster your stream moves. The faster your stream moves, the more you feel uncomfortable in not moving with it. And so the more you throw into your vibrational escrow, in other words, the worse it gets, the worse it gets, the worse it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. Law of attraction says that it must. So when you care about how you feel, and this is the thing that we always enjoy most, when you come to a gathering like this, your sense of who you are is activated. Your stream moves faster. You come into alignment with who you are, and you become more sensitive to the way you feel. You would not think it would be a good idea. The stove is so hot. It is so unpleasant to touch that hot stove. I think I will just treat my fingers to some Novocaine. So much better. The hot stove doesn't bother me at all, except for that odd odor. And yet, you numb yourself. You become accustomed to emotions that are signals that let you know that you are contradicting who you are. And so this gathering is about getting a hold of that and caring about how you feel, which means caring about closing the gap, which means caring about offering one signal, which means caring about seeing your world through the eyes of the evolved source being that is you. Just a straightforward system based upon two relationships. Where are you in relationship with where you want to be? And we want you to understand that your guidance system is so much the same in that it has two vibrational relationships. Where am I right now? By virtue of what I'm giving my attention to and by what drum I'm beating. Where am I in relationship to who I have become? And we want you to remember that the way you feel and all of your enlightenment, expansion, joyous beingness is not based upon what anybody else is doing. It's all about what you're doing in relationship with what your life has caused you to become. We would like you to replace all of those emotions that you have been feeling with the quest for one emotion. And maybe emotion isn't the best word for this, but it is the word we want you to reach for. Reach for the feeling of relief. The feeling of relief. Just the thought that feels a little better from where I am. Not big relief. Can't find big relief. Big relief is vibrationally far apart. Little relief is very easy to accomplish. So as you've been beating the drum of something, beating the drum of something, beating the drum of something, and you become aware that you don't feel so good in the beating of this drum, just try to let go of the beating of that drum and try to find a thought that feels a little better. And as you find a little relief, just the slightest little bit of relief, you'll turn and go with the flow for a little while, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And before you know it, you will be in those smooth waters where things are moving along. You'll feel the exhilaration of life moving for you. And all kinds of things that you've been wanting, you will begin to converge with. You'll have evidence of your motion toward those things that you want. Every time you know what you don't want, your stream goes faster as you know what you do want. In other words, you in your life are causing your stream to go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. A mother came one day, said she had a question from her child. We are so eager to hear it. Child wants to know, why are grown-ups so grumpy? And we say, because the longer you live, you know what you don't want. The longer you know what you don't want, the more you know what you do want. The more you know what you do want, the more you throw more over into your vibrational escrow. The more you throw over into vibrational escrow, the faster your stream moves. The faster your stream moves, the more it behooves you to move in the direction of the faster moving stream. You want to go with the flow. And we want you to understand that it is so much easier to go with the flow than it is to go against the current of the flow. It just takes caring about how you feel and a willingness to reach for softer and softer, better feeling thoughts. And so we're wanting to suggest to you that that feeling of relief always comes when you begin to move toward what you want. You call things that are possible not possible. You call things that are absolutely recoverable as incurable. And the reason you do it is because you haven't figured out how to quantify your journey. So you go this way, 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 when what you want's over here. And you say, I'm so tired. Do you know how long I've been working? Do you know how many miles I've driven? Do you know how many miles I've walked? Do you know how many things I've tried? And we say, have you tried just going in the same direction for a while instead of back and forth and back and forth? You've got to figure out how to quantify your journeys. You've got to figure out where what you want is downstream, and you've got to figure out how to keep moving consistently in the direction of what you want. And we're here to tell you that the way you quantify your journey is by using your guidance system, which is in your belly, which is in your gut, which says if it feels a little better, you're moving in the direction of what you want. If it feels a little worse, you've taken a detour in the opposite direction. And we so want you to understand that you can trust this guidance, because we know so clearly that as your life caused you to become something more, the source energy within you stands there as the already having become of it and calls you never-endedly toward it. And when you go, you feel great, and when you don't, you don't. So, when you don't feel good, do you know what it means? It means two really important things. It means your life has caused you to become something that you are right now not letting yourself become. You are such a lover, and when you find reason to criticize someone, do you know that the reason it feels so rotten is because you're not being who you really are? Sometimes you will hold someone as your object of attention, and you will say, you have betrayed me, you have done wrong, and because you have betrayed me, you are causing me to feel this bad way that I feel. But we want you to understand that nothing that anyone else does around you has the effect on your emotions that you've been giving them credit for. In fact, what is happening when you find someone to hate, or when you find someone to blame, whether it's you yourself you're blaming, guilting, or someone else. In every case, the reason that it feels so bad is not because they have betrayed you, but because you are in the process of betraying yourself. And by that we mean the source energy within you, who you really are, is a lover. And when you hold someone as your object of attention and you justifiably point out their wrongdoing and you feel hate rather than love, you are using them and that aspect of them as your excuse to widen your gap rather than close your gap. And so what we want you to come to realize is that you have the power to come into alignment with who you are, no matter what, unconditionally. And when you learn to focus in ways that allows you that alignment, you'll feel the true power of who you are. One who's connected to the source within is more powerful than millions who are not. So when you come to care about how you feel, and you begin to pick your way through life, through thoughts, through experiences, through television channels, through food buffets, through relationships, as you pick your way through, caring about how you feel as you focus, and you train yourself to keep focusing into something that feels a little better and a little better and a little better and a little better until you train yourself to see your world through the eyes of Source, then you will begin to live your life as you intended when you came forth into this physical body. Complicating things, or in another way of saying it, is focusing on it until there are more specifics that are gathered, is the most wonderful thing unless there's a wobble in it. In other words, that's what clarity is. Because at a very soft level of attraction, it feels like satisfaction and contentment. There's no wobble. But when momentum is allowed without the wobble, clarity adds much more detail. And it is so delicious. Fast-moving energy and ideas without a wobble, that's just dynamic and exhilarating. It really is what you want. You just don't want that thing going on where you want it, but with the big wobble in it, you see. So I just want to make sure that you understand that we are not trying to talk you out of details. We are never trying to talk you out of momentum. We're just wanting to guide you so that you are centered and stable before you begin the momentum. There are 3 steps to this creative process. Step 1 is you sift and sort and evaluate and conclude and prefer, and you've been doing it from the moment that you got into this physical body and before. So you have done the step 1 asking part already. And Source has done the clarifying, the adding to, the holding the focus of, the knowing, the allowing, the being. In other words, when you ask, it has been vibrationally given. That's that vortex that we've been talking to you about, this vibrational reality. It exists in a vibrational reality. Therefore, now you can find the emotional, non-restricted, non-resisted, non-cluttered, non-scattered vibrational place. And then the path will unfold. And of course, it will pick up momentum. Everything picks up momentum. We might as well just say that. Nothing is going to stand still. Everything is gathering momentum. You've just got to decide if what's central in you right here and now is a good feeling thing that's gathering momentum, or whether it's not a good feeling thing that's gathering momentum. The opportunity, the probability, the certainty of it is never-endingly unfolding. There are constantly 30 or 40 or 50 viable avenues in your immediate vicinity that could be absolutely accurately called on your path factors that most humans are, for the most part, oblivious to, because they've got a frequency going on that keeps them from realizing it, even though it's right there. That's why it's only this vibrational shift in you that is necessary. Jerry used to talk about turning thoughts to things. And you got to be wondering about this. You've got to be wondering, since you're in these physical bodies, and oh, it's nice to hear Abraham. Abraham is so confident in what they know about the laws of the universe. But you got to be wondering, so if I'm offering all of these thoughts and I've created this vibrational reality, Abraham, it's nice to know that there's money in my vortex, but I'd like to get the money out of the vortex and into the bank. And so show me how to turn this vibration into something that's tangible. And we say, you got to do it vibrationally, and then you will be the realizer of it into what is tangible. It's about you rendezvousing. It's like you sensing the path, you feeling the path, you knowing the path, you being able to see it. It's all around you. You're just not seeing it sometimes because you're on a different frequency. Here's the thing. If you are really centered in who you are, if you are really feeling good, there's no such thing as too many opportunities because you're so in the flow. As they come, it's like having a whole lot of dance partners whom you are up to speed with. It's like watching the perfection of a magnificent basketball team, Spurs. Esther's slightly addicted. And seeing their heads-up awareness of one another, their intuitive sensing of where they are in relationship to everything else, and not wanting to just stand there alone, but embracing the idea of all of those moving parts for which they are ready for, you see. Ooh. When you're not ready, you don't want anybody throwing you the ball. Don't throw me the ball, it could hit me in the face. Don't throw it to me. Don't throw it to me fast. Don't throw it to me ever. Don't throw it to me. Throw it to somebody else. I'm not ready yet. But when you are up to speed, when you are ready, then you want to do that dance, you see. There is no such thing as too many moving parts when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Because you have the foresight, you have the understanding, you have the broader perspective. You can be in the right place at the right time. So that feeling is always a feeling that comes when there is wobble in your vibration, because when there's wobble, you're out of balance. When you're out of balance, you don't want many moving parts. We would like to use an emotional word like confidence, security, knowing, a sort of definiteness of purpose. I feel sure about this. I feel sure about this. What happens is, at first, you're not so sure. And most humans are looking for conditions to validate them. They're looking for conditions to help them be more sure. Well, that's a wobbly platform. Instead of looking for conditions that therefore sort of fire you up, like motivate you into positive expectation, what you're really wanting is to tap in to that core knowing of your value and your power. And once you practice that a little bit, the conditions will reveal themselves to you, or better said, you will realize them, and then you will begin even more trusting yourself. You can't get it wrong, and you'll never get it done. But these words don't sound so good if you're standing in that tentative place. So that's why we've been saying to you for a while, wake up in the morning and say to yourself first thing, this is a new day, and I get to choose how I feel. First day or two of that, Esther didn't make it till breakfast, until she was wobbling on one thing or another. But once being wobble-free became her dominant intention, she learned that she could change any subject that started to wobble so fast that she would stop the wobble. And as she began stopping the wobble, 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 there was enough in her vortex to begin calling her. And once that began moving, then she began trusting, you see. So, do you accept that you are vibrational beings? Does it make sense to you that the thoughts that you think are vibrationally active? And is it logical that you could think a thought and then contradict it right on its heels? I want it but. And so, does it make sense to you that if you are not doing the contradictory part, not introducing that wobble into the equation? Is it logical to you that law of attraction will take your clear thought into more definition, into more detail, into more exhilaration, into more clear ideas? You see, at first, the manifestation is an emotional one. But right behind that come streams of thoughts, really good ideas. Really good ideas. And as those ideas begin to flow, and you just go with those ideas, then what happens is manifestations begin to happen around you. It feels like, and it is exactly like, you are allowing what you put into the vortex to move from the vortex into your reality. And it's so much fun when you get to be in on every piece of it as it moves in. Now, we're out here a little bit, but if there's ever a crowd that can hear us, it's you. We mean that. We're out here on the leading edge together. So, if you can stand in your now, finding this emotional place, and not needing to shore it up with details, just feeling the pureness of the emotion of it. No need to explain how you got here. No impulse to talk about that. So those conditions can just be left out of the equation, yeah? No need to explain how you got here. Oh, feel the refreshment of that. Don't have to explain it, justify it, defend it, describe it, or make anybody else get it. Just let that go. So you're just standing here. Oh, and there's another piece. No dog in the fight about the outcome. No needing to define where you're going next. So in the never mind how you got here, and never mind, no investment in the outcome. Now, no investment in the outcome. If there's no investment in the outcome, you're not going to introduce contradiction to it. So you already did step one. You already put it there. Source is already fully involved in the outcome and has orchestrated circumstances and events and rendezvous beyond our ability to describe it vibrationally in a way that Esther can get it verbally. In other words, we just cannot tell you how much has already been orchestrated on your behalf about the things that you want. No investment in that outcome, not your job. Step two has never been your job. Your job, right here, right now, just feeling the love. Right here, right now. Never mind how you got here. Never mind how it's going to unfold. Just this feeling that the path is coming to you. The path is coming to you. The path is coming to you. And before you're aware of it, there's nothing for you to do. Ooh, that's the big piece. You don't need to call somebody. You don't need to write something down. You don't need to goose it up. You don't need to motivate yourself. Until the path is blatantly obvious, there's nothing for you to do. Nothing for you to do. And we promise you, you won't be bored, because the path will unfold and you'll know. It won't be should I or shouldn't it. It'll be I'm going, I'm doing, I'm in, I am in. Someone will say to you, where are you going? I don't know. Why are you so excited? I don't know that either. Well, how do you explain how bright you look? I can't explain that either. I've just found this sweet spot. I found this sweet spot where I'm not invested in how I got here, and I'm not invested in where I'm going, because that is dynamically already orchestrated. I'm just here in an utter state of allowing. You get that. You get that. And in that state of being, the path shows up. Ooh, you feel so brilliant. You just feel so brilliant. First you feel blessed. Oh, man. And then you feel brilliant. And then you feel inspired. And then you feel happy. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. You get in that state. You have no idea what you mean by moving parts. So many moving parts orchestrated by the universe. So much already happening on your behalf. It's time for you to accept the perfection of who you are and what you've put into your vortex, and to stand in this place of allowing the path to show itself to you, and until it does, don't move. I'm waiting for the compelling path to sweep beneath my feet and light up in a way that every fiber of my being feels the rightness of this path. But before that happens, you got to chill out. You got to find the feeling of love more often. You got to be less conditional. Everything is right on track for you. You see, our attention is upon you feeling so good on your path right here, right now. Because your life is always going to be on your path right here, right now. You're never going to be over there where you think you want to be, because your path is constantly unfolding. So when you make peace with the rightness of where you are, and your life is about, have I prepared the vibrational atmosphere so that I have the clarity to experience the realization, then, the people who flow into your world, the conversations that you have, the leading edge going into the new place again, another new place and another new place. And here you are, and you are right up to speed with everything that we're talking about, because you prepared the vibrational atmosphere. And when the path unfolded beneath your feet, you felt the resonance of it. You did. We saw you do that. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.